everyone. This is Clara Jones. I'm going to be answering the question. The preamble to the Constitution lists 5 duties of the government. Which duties do I think the government has failed to uphold, and how do I think the government could do a better job? So, real quickly, I want to kind of run through what the 5 duties are. So, first is to establish justice, which, in other words, pretty much just means to ensure that all people have a voice and to uphold the laws of the Constitution. The judicial system specifically plays a huge role in this. Second is to ensure domestic tranquility. In other words, promoting harmony amongst its citizens and preventing disagreements and disputes that could ultimately lead to another civil war, which we definitely don't want. Third is to provide for the common defense, or in other words, to care for our military. That's important too. They're protecting us. We need to make sure we take care of them and make it as, I won't say easy, but as doable as possible. Fourth is to promote the general welfare, or combating poverty, taking steps to allow Americans equal opportunity to pursue the life they desire. And lastly is just to secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity or our children. So pretty much just to take steps towards securing our freedoms. And those who are founding fathers and those who came before us worked so hard to help us keep. And we want to work to ensure that our children are able to enjoy those same blessings. And so I will say I do believe that the government definitely does need to work on every area, probably. There are definitely things, establishing justice, even though things like, Roe v. Wade was overturned. I am overjoyed about that because I am a huge pro-life advocate, and I believe that that is just about the best way you could promote justice, is by ensuring that those who don't have a voice still have their equal rights protected under the Constitution, and they proved that was a constitutional right, and I'm glad about that. So they did do that. However, there's other things they still need to fix, to improve. Ensuring domestic tranquility, same thing, but we're not in a civil war, so I'm not really going to talk about that as much. Providing for the common defense, there are things we can definitely do to make their lives a whole lot easier. However, the 2 that I want to be talking about today are promoting the general welfare and securing our freedoms and liberties. So first, I'll do the last one, which is protecting. So they do a good job at protecting the Bill of Rights and promoting equality based on merit now, instead of race, social status, sexual orientation, which is just not, it should have never been done, but they are taking steps to ensure that now everyone is based on the good job you do. That's, so I do believe that they are doing a good job of. However, they are also attempting to monitor or regulate free speech on social media platforms, and even in like the press. It even states in the Constitution that the press is supposed to have at least basic freedoms too, and we don't really know as much. Obviously there are certain things they should not be saying that they do say, but ultimately just free speech in general, I feel like they have been trying to infringe on, that they need to be more careful about. Talk of limiting access to guns for civilians. That's not okay. That's the Second Amendment that says that we have the right to own guns, and there is a good reason for that. I'm not going to get into that, as I already addressed that in a post from Freedom Forum 1, but there are very good reasons why we should have access to those, regardless of what they can cause if in the wrong hands. Vaccine mandates, lockdowns, we've seen how the government has tried to control us. That's not to say that they're still doing that in particular, because there's no longer lockdowns or anything like that. However, we have seen that they do have that power, and I believe that they are taking advantage of that sometimes. So the last thing I'll talk about is promoting the general welfare. And it's not that I believe the government isn't doing enough of this. It is actually quite the opposite. I believe they're taking it a step too far. In my opinion, as I stated earlier, when I said that, at least in my interpretation, promotion of general welfare, I believe is taking steps to allow Americans an equal opportunity to pursue the life that they desire. I believe that. The government is supposed to allow Americans equal opportunity. This does not mean that the government should enable Americans to live off the government and to live off unemployment for an undefined amount of time. I feel like too often, even though it can be a good thing, a lot of the time, people take advantage of it. They decide they like working from home or not working at all, and they just say, hey, I'm just going to keep going getting signatures and stuff. And I'm not saying everybody does this, but I'm saying some people do take advantage of it. And I believe there should be more regulations on maybe saying, hey, we're going to say, maybe on regulating the type of food. And that way there's not so much incentive to just live off the government, because not only are they not benefiting themselves from this, society as a whole, we can see, is weakening, because there's so many jobs that need to be filled that aren't filled because people have no incentive to go get a job, because they already have enough money to live off of, and they'd rather be at home, which is understandable. But I believe that steps should be taken. For example, like I said, limit the type of food. So, for example, like on, WIC, for example, how they have, there's certain WIC approved items, milk, certain types of formula. I believe it should be the same for all food stamps. Say, okay, you can't just use this to go get a steak or filet mignon. You use this to go get bread and milk and a bottle of water and just the basic things that you need. And then if you want to get other types of food, go get a job. See if you can find a job. And if you can't, that's okay. We're going to help you try to get there, but we're not going to enable you to just live off of us forever. So, and then don't give it away to everyone. Have more limitations on who gets it. So, those are the two that I believe do need to be looked at. That is my personal opinion. It is what I believe. But anyway, I hope that made sense, and I hope that y'all have a blessed day, and I look forward to seeing your responses as well. Bye.